Oh, shoot. Gotta turn that around here. Always wants to do that to me. Come on. Let's get ha. Technology is my friend because it allows me to do this with you. All right, friends. Happy Thursday or whatever day that you might be doing this class. It's Thursday, the 29th for me, 9 a.m. So we'll go ahead and get this class started. Before I start with the actual practice, I got to say a quick thank you to Nicole Van Dyke for her very generous donation to the channel. I've already put it to good use and bought myself a sweet new stand for the iPad. It's great. Now I don't have to worry about my cat knocking it over midstream as much. We should even put that out there probably. But again, thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this, know how grateful I am for you and also hope. So thank you. Okay, so we're going to do a quick meditation and then we're going to do some chair yoga. And then we're going to do these things called sun salutations. And I have 4 different versions. You can either stand in the chair or stay seated in the chair, or 3 standing versions as well. So depending on where you're at this morning, you'll have something that you can learn. And the sun salutations are one of my sun salutation A. There's actually 2. But anyway, we're focusing just on the first one today. And it's a modified version. If you look at yoga back in the 70s, sun salutations looked a lot different, or sun salutations today in different parts of the world look a lot differently than how we do them today in the West. So this is a version of the sun salutations that I've learned here and kind of put my own twist on. So to make accessible for everyone. So great. As far as our meditation goes, we're going to be doing these things called the healing sounds. Now, this comes more from the traditional Chinese medicine school of thought. And there are actually 6 sounds that we typically would use, but today we're just going to focus on 3. Okay. Now, these sounds are thought to cool the heat in our organs. And when the heat gets excessive in the organs, it starts to burn up the chi, the energy, and we start to act in ways that aren't typically normal to our character. Okay. So, for example, I'm just going to explain the sounds real quick and then we'll start the meditation. So, the first sound that we will use, it helps to purify the kidneys and the bladder. So when the chi is getting burnt up because of the excess heat, we have a tendency to become very fearful in our decision making. All right. Now, when that chi is flowing properly and not too excessive, not in depletion, then, friends, we seem to have a greater sense of appreciation. We see the value in things, even if we don't necessarily enjoy them. We see the value in things. And that's a distinction that I'm not going to elaborate on too much, but just know that there are things like you can listen to a song, for example, and you can like just the guitar, you can like just the vocal, you can like just the drum part. And if the rest of the song doesn't speak to you, it's okay. You can like a little part of it. So anyway, I talk way too much. We're moving on tangents. I'm sorry. The next sound that we're going to use works with the liver and the gallbladder. So the liver and the gallbladder, when the heat becomes excessive, that's when we start to get angry and stressed out, frustrated. All right. I, for one, suffer sometimes from some excess heat in my liver. So to help control that, friends, we use this healing sound. And when we do that, we create a little room for some kindness and generosity. The third sound we're going to make works with the heart. Now, when the heart flame is very delicate, when the heart flame is burning, when it's too calm, the flame isn't burning bright enough, that's when we start to feel burnt out, very lethargic. But when the heart flame is burning too strong, friends, that's when we start to become very compulsive, We don't think things through, and we're constantly seeking that instant gratification, even if it's not to the benefit of our long-term health. Okay, so again, now to explain the sounds, because I probably should have done that before, but I'll do it now. So the first sound for the kidney and for the bladders is the sound of chew, like choo-choo train. Chew. And we want to try to extend the sound out as long as we can. Now, to prepare for the sounds, we'll do a few rounds of breath, because what we want to do as we exhale is feel as if we're contracting and squeezing the lungs. We're trying to get all that stale air out of the body. The next sound that we will make is very similar. It's for, again, the liver and its yang counterpart, the gallbladder. And this sound is shoo, like it's SH with a very soft U at the end. Kind of not like we wear shoes for our feet, but a shoo. Shoo. And again, we want to try and extend it out as long as we can, get that stale air out of the body. Now, the third sound we're going to make for the heart is the whisper sound of, you don't have to do the hand stuff, but, and this is thought to restore the heart flame. So again, not burning too low, not burning too bright. Perfect balance. All right, friends, so we'll go ahead and get started with our meditation. Again, I'll cue those sounds as we go. I'll try not to be too wordy. And again, we all have different capacities for breath. And so your full capacity for breath might sound like, or it might sound like, so once we start the exercise, we'll all be kind of breathing at our own pace. I don't want to try to regulate your own breath when we start the exercise, is what I'm getting at. Okay? So to begin, we'll find ourselves in the front half of our chair. Knees are about shoulders width, about a 90-degree bend in my feet. I got something weird on my sock there. If you get feet are parallel on the floor, gently pressing down. My hands are either resting down on my knees to facilitate a greater sense of grounding and connectivity to this extension of Mother Earth beneath me, or I could turn my palms up. And this is thought to open up my heart and also my mind to divine inspiration, whatever that might mean to you. So I like to do whatever my body instinctively does each day. I think today I need some grounding, so I'm going to keep my hands down on my knees. Again, my shoulders are relaxed, my jaw is relaxed, my cheekbones and my forehead. And I don't want to lift my chin here, friends. I personally have a tendency of lifting my chin. So I draw it back in line with my spine and I reach up to the crown of my head. Our eyes can be open, closed, or what we refer to as softly closed, leaving that slight line of peripheral vision underneath the lids. Again, this is very useful for helping us remain grounded and feeling safe and secure in our environment. And this helps us turn off that fight, flight, or freeze that constantly plagues us. All right, friends, so here we go. Taking a few slow breaths in through your nose, softly sighing out through the mouth. Again, we're just going to take a few rounds of breath to prepare for the sounds. I will try not to breathe too heavily into my microphone, but taking a few slow, deliberate breaths in through your nose and relaxing your jaw, again, your cheekbones and your forehead as you gently sigh out. Calmly breathing in through the nose, softly sighing out, relaxing the shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands. Calmly breathing in through the nose, softly sighing out, relaxing the glutes, the knees, the ankles, and the feet. And now, if you can, switching our breathing pattern to being in and out through the nose. And as we breathe in, I want us just to focus on our lungs. So as we breathe in, we feel the lungs expand, lifting through the chest. Exhale, we feel the lungs contract. And we want to feel as if Again, a gentle squeezing of the lungs as we breathe out, like we're trying to squeeze the excess moisture out of a sponge. Breathing in, the lungs will expand. Breathing out, the lungs will contract. Take a few more rounds of breath on your own. And now we'll begin with our healing sounds. Again, the first sound we will use is chew. But again, contracting the lungs and trying to remove as much stale air as possible. We'll do approximately 3 to 5 rounds of each sound depending on, again, your volume of air intake and the rate and speed of your breath. I will demonstrate a few and then I'll give you time to do them on your own. We begin each exercise with a soft sigh from the mouth, calmly breathing in through the nose, feeling the lungs expand, and releasing the sound of shh. When you're ready to inhale, the lungs naturally recoil, and we release the sound of shh. Maybe you bring into your mind's eye the vision of water, maybe a waterfall, river, some kind of flowing water, not stagnant water, not a lake or a pond. Flowing water. Continue to make the sound for a few more repetitions. And now release that sound and release the image of running water and breathe naturally. And notice how you feel. The next sound we will use, again for the liver and gallbladder, is the sound of shh. So we'll repeat the same sequence we did before. Soft exhale from the mouth. Breath in through the nose. And squeezing the lungs, extending the sound. Letting the lungs naturally recoil as we breathe in. And again, we could bring to image in our mind of a strong tree. I prefer redwood trees, but any tree that works for you. Or maybe a mountain. A mountain might work nice too. I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross. Big, strong mountain. Happy little trees. My body's so happy it started to sway a little bit. One more time, we'll release the sound of shoo. And then we release the sound and the mental image of the tree or the mountain or any scene of nature. Breathe naturally. The final sound we will make again for the heart is the whisper sound of Again, thought to cool and manage the flame, the heart fire, so not to be too bright or too dull. We will follow that same sequence, beginning with a soft breath out through our mouth, and then breathing in calmly through the nose, and releasing the gentle sound of, and again feeling the lungs contract, squeezing like two sponges. Lungs naturally recoil, breathing in through the nose. And again, I like to use the mental image of a campfire, providing illumination, protection, vision, clarity, and also calming, energetic at the same time. The heart flame it's an interesting thing. Not too bright, not too dull. Sound of wow, I could sit here all day, but we got things to do probably. So big breath in through the nose, friends. As we sigh out, release the sound, release the image. Pressing down gently on those knees, snug the shoulders up to your ears as you inhale. Exhale, let them go. That's probably much longer than it was supposed to be. Anyway, press down as we inhale up. Who said how long it's supposed to be anyway? Let it go. No one's telling. We don't have a time frame to follow. Inhale up. Let it go. Now let's do some big shoulder rolls. So I'm going to inhale my shoulders up. In between my breath, I'm going to draw them straight back. Then I'm going to exhale them down. Shoulders up. Between the breath, pull them back. Then exhale them down. Shoulders up. Shoulders back. Exhale, shoulders down. Relax. Big breath in to the nose, cleansing breath out to the mouth. And now we will do the opposite. We'll pull the shoulders back. We'll lift the shoulders up. Collapse the shoulders, drop them down. Pull the shoulders back. Inhale them up. Collapse. Exhale down. Pull them back. Inhale them up. Collapse. Exhale down. One more set. Pull them back. Inhale. And up. Exhale. Collapse. And then down. Very good. We're going to do some circles now for our hips. So we're going to try and circle our heart around our hips here, friends. I'm going to try and keep my spine as straight as I can. And I'm moving to start off with in a clockwise direction. Now, I've been moving around pretty active all morning. So I'm making a pretty large circle to begin with. I probably should have started with a slightly smaller circle. So if you're starting with a smaller circle, that's probably a good idea. And we'll gradually increase our circle as we go. As always, we like to synchronize our breath with our movement in some way, shape, or form. So I like to exhale as I rotate forward. Inhaling as I rotate back. Now you might want to synchronize your breath in some other way, shape, or form, and that's okay. Do what feels good to you. Finding ourselves back at center now, friends. We just made a bunch of circles, so you might feel as if the body needs to sway. So we'll just take a calming breath in through the nose. Soft sigh from the mouth. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed, cheekbone, forehead. We'll take another breath in to prepare. Then we'll start with a very small circle. So now I'm going in a counterclockwise direction. Again, I'm going to start with a very small circle. My heart around my hips. My good buddy Eric Fuentes would say, if my spine gives me the green light, I can go ahead and expand my circle, which I will do now. Again, I'm trying to keep my spine long as I circle, so trying to eliminate any rounding in the spine here. I know that's easier said than done. Again, synchronizing our breath with our movement. And then finding ourselves back at our upright neutral position. Breath in through the nose. Release that heat out through the mouth. Great. Let's take a spinal twist here, friends. So I'm going to be sitting more toward the middle of my chair. I crept up a little bit more toward the front third. I'm going to, again, be toward the middle half here. Starting with my right hand, grabbing the side of the chair. Keeping my chest square with the front of the room, or square with the camera. I'm going to bring my left arm straight up. Now, if you've never done a spinal twist like this before, you might want to watch me real quick. I'll demonstrate, then we can do it again. I'll take a breath in, reaching up through those left fingertips, but I'm keeping that shoulder down. And as I exhale, I'll lower that arm down, moving into my twist, gazing over that back right shoulder. Okay. Now, again, go ahead and find yourself back at center, and we'll do that again. The reason I have people do that is just because if you've never done it before, we turn, you might not know what I'm saying. And I've had many times people keep that arm up in the air just because it's the first time they've done it. And so now that we've got that cleared up, we'll go ahead and move through this sequence. So again, right hand grabbing the side of the chair, left arm straight up. Reach up through your fingertips, finding length. Now as we exhale, twisting to the right, lowering that left arm down to the right knee or quad again, looking over the back shoulder only if it feels okay on the neck. Now if you need to keep our head in line with our torso, that's okay too. Most importantly, friends, we don't want to be leaning in our chair. Notice if we're leaning, when our spine straight up and down. Our spine loves twist, but the spine needs to be done in a safe way. Now to come out of this twist, friends, we will inhale, returning to center with both arms overhead. Notice my shoulders stay relaxed. I exhale, release that left arm down, gripping the side of the chair gently. Now I press down through my glutes, reach up, finding length with that right arm. And as I exhale, I lower the right arm down to the knee or quad, looking over that back shoulder. Again, if there's too much of a twist on the neck, you can keep the head in line with the torso. Notice if one shoulder's crept up, keep them even. Notice if we're leaning in our chair. Breathe. Always connected to our breath, friends. On our next inhalation, we will come back to center with both arms overhead. Exhale, release our hands down to our heart. Breath in here, yogis. And release your hands with a generous sigh. Okay, let's warm up this neck a little bit. So we're going to inhale, look over our right shoulder. Exhaling back to center. I might mess that up. Inhale, looking over the opposite shoulder. Exhaling back to center. And just continue to inhale, looking over the opposite shoulder. Exhaling back to center. Inhaling, opposite shoulder. Exhaling, center. This time we'll hold the stretch. So inhaling, looking over whatever shoulder you're looking over. Continue to breathe. Try to ignore the sound of my stomach growling if you can hear that. Breath in here, friends, to prepare. Exhale back to center, relaxing. Then we'll inhale, look over the opposite shoulder and hold the stretch. Continue to breathe. Again, shoulders relaxed, jaws relaxed, hands are relaxed, feet are relaxed. Connected to our breath. One more inhalation here, and then exhaling back to center. I caught myself mirroring my directions. I have a big note taped to my stand that says, "Don't mirror your instructions." Oh, well, I'm human. What can I say? So now we're going to hold a little stretch for the neck. So now that we've warmed it up with some dynamic movement, we'll hold the stretch. So again, I'm going to start with my left hand resting on my left quad. I'm going to take my right arm up and overhead, and I'm going to gently place my right fingertips between my left ear and temple. Now I'm staying here in this neutral position. Spine is upright. I'm going to inhale, pressing down through my glutes, finding length in my spine, pressing up through my crown. And as I exhale, I'm just going to relax my right ear over toward my right shoulder. Now I'm not pulling on my head here, friends. I'm simply allowing the weight of my hand to allow my neck to be gently stretched. Now, if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can dangle that left arm off. So removing the hand from the quad. And then imagine lifting your left ear up toward the sky as you sink that left shoulder down toward the earth. Again, another good example of our dynamic unifying opposition, stretching the body in two opposing directions to create one unified stretch across the whole body. Take one more breath in here, friends. Soft exhale. Bring that hand safely back to the quad. We'll let the right hand slide off the head, releasing it down to the right quad. And take a breath in and a breath out. Again, right hand will start on the right quad. The left arm will come up and over again, gently placing those fingertips between the ear and the temple. Now we start off again with our spine upright. We take a breath in. And as we exhale, we allow that left ear to gently fall over toward the left shoulder. Again, not pulling the head. No, 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 no. Again, if we want to deepen the stretch, we can dangle that right arm. Imagine lifting that left ear, right ear, almost mirrored again, right ear up toward the sky, sinking the right shoulder down. Feeling those muscles warming up. Breathe. One more inhalation here, friends. Exhale. Bring the right hand safely back to the quad. Allow that left hand to slide off the head, bringing it back to a safe neutral position, resting the left hand on the knee or the quad. Then I'm just going to look over my right shoulder. Exhale back to center. Inhale, look over my left shoulder. Exhale back to center. Lift up my shoulders. Inhale up my chin. Exhale, drop my chin. Drop my shoulders. Good, 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 good. Let's just work the hands real quick. Again, friends, I always like to touch on the hands. A lot of times circulation is one of those first things that give us problems. We lose our grip. I remember many times when I was farming, I have elbow and hand stuff. I'd reach into the fridge to grab something and I would drop the milk or whatever it was at that time. And because I had no grip strength, my hands were shot. And so I always like to try to do something with the hands, friends. So today we're going to kind of dig into our Qigong practice, our silk reeling. And so in our silk reeling here, friends, I'm spiraling my wrist, but I'm also reaching through those fingers. And I'm not just, now, this isn't to imply that anyone here has lazy hands or is lazy in any way, shape, or form. My instructor would effectually say not to have lazy hands here. Again, I learned a lot of Qigong from a fellow named Nick Lawfrey, and you can find him here on Qigong, or here. You can find his Qigong station here on YouTube, and he's fantastic. He is fantastic. And if you get to the point to where you feel as if you've learned enough from me and you want to learn some from my teacher, friends, I strongly recommend it. I'm trying to learn from as many teachers as I can. I'm trying to never stop learning, never stop being a student. Keep that mind active, keep it sharp, keep it focused, friends. Keeps the mind, body happy, less need for that superficial stimulation, which we all sometimes crave. Now go ahead and reverse directions. Again, really active hands here. and then give it a little shake. And then relax. Okay, we're almost ready to make it to our feet, but first I do want to wake up the feet a little bit. So when we get to our feet, we feel as if they're activated, and sometimes it's easier to do that from a chair. So I'm going to go ahead and slide my chair back a little bit now so you can see my feet. Hopefully my socks aren't too dirty. Not bad. Okay, anyway. So first thing we're gonna do is extend that right leg out long and just point and flex the foot. No, I'm actually gonna pull my socks off here. You could keep your sock. Oh, I got some white legs. Oh my goodness gracious. I think my legs are whiter than my socks. Okay, anyway, so now the reason I took my socks off is because when I point my toe forward, then I'm gonna draw my toe back. I'm gonna try and spread my toes. Point my toe forward, and then I pull my foot back and I spread my toes. Now our toes might not spread very much, but that's okay. Again, like the hands, we're just trying to get that blood flow, that circulation down to our feet. Okay, now we're in a circle. Go about 8 to 10 times in each direction. You don't have to have your leg raised as high. You don't have to have it way up here. Ooh, you have it down here too. Reverse directions. And then again, give it a nice shake. And we'll do the other leg. So now again, I start by pointing and then flexing the foot. Again, by flexing, I just mean pointing the toes back toward the shin. I'm going to try and spread my toes as I pull it back toward the shin as well. Again, not slouching in my chair, caught myself sinking a little bit, rising up through my heart. Now I'm going to circle that foot. Luckily, we're not in camping season, or the bottom of my paws would probably look much worse. Go ahead and reverse directions. Oh, I can't wait to summertime, though, friends. Looking forward to doing some camping, that's for sure. Go ahead and shake it out. Good, 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 good. Now, just to warm up the knees a little bit, we're just going to extend the leg out, and we're just going to bend the knee a little bit. Now, again, we don't have to extend the leg all the way. We can only be bending the leg about 50% or extending the leg about 50% and easing into it, especially if we have knee replacement, friends. We just limit that motion. We're just trying to get things moving a little bit. We're not trying to get a stretch or anything like that. We're just regaining some mobility in the knee. So we're not going to overdo it, especially for those folks out there who have bad knees. And if your knees are already bugging you, really very, very, very cautious. Okay, friends, then go ahead and set that foot down. We'll go ahead and do the other side again. Extending and setting it, extending and then relaxing. But again, we don't have to extend the leg all the way. My right knee is pretty wonky, so I'm much more careful with it. Now my left knee, I feel a little bit more, it's a little bit more reliable, it's a little bit more stable. So I'll extend my range of motion a little bit. And that's really important, friends, for our bodies is we shouldn't assume that each side of our body is capable of doing the same thing. It's very, very, very common for one side of our body to be more flexible, to have more strength, or being our dominant hand is a perfect example. Trying to write or do things with your non-dominant hand, you know how challenging that could be. Okay, go ahead and set that leg down. And I think we're about ready, friends, to move on to our sun salutations. So the first of our sun salutations, I'm going to demonstrate conveniently enough from our chair. So it goes something like this, friends. We're going to want to again sit toward the front half of our chair, probably more toward the front third. And my knees, again, are shoulders width. My feet are parallel. Now, friends, if our shoulders are already bugging us a little bit, we're going to just want to bring our hands to heart. If it feels okay to bring the arms overhead, like we're holding that beach ball, again, we don't need to bring the palms together. We want our shoulders relaxed here. So not creeping up toward the ears, shoulders relaxed. So either holding that beach ball with our chin parallel, so we're not looking up at the beach ball. We know it's there. That's one option. Or again, if that's too much for the shoulders, just keep your hands at heart. Both options are fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to slowly kind of break it down. Then we'll do one with the breath, and then I'll move on to the next version. Okay, and I'm going to try and move through this kind of quickly, as quickly as this wordy person can. Anyway, first version or first step is, again, arms either here or here, and then we're going to fold. So we're going to come down. As we come down, we have the option of bringing our hands to our quads, relaxing here as we come down. Or if you feel comfortable, you can bring your arms down by your sides. Now, again, friends, if we suffer from high blood pressure or macular degeneration, difficulty swelling, things like that in the eyes, we always want to keep that head above the heart. And so in that case, we would keep the hands on the quads and we would fold like this, relaxing the head, looking down at the floor. Now, what our next position is called the halfway lift. So our halfway lift, I'm going to turn my chair just so you can see what I mean. First step, again, hands either here or here. And then we fold either here or here. We'll find our halfway lift next. And so that looks like this. You notice my spine is straight. I'm not in my full upright position. I'm not completely down. I'm about halfway, long spine, hands on the knees or quads. From here again, we're going to fold one more time. So either keeping our hands here or taking them down here. Then on our following inhale, we'll come rising all the way up to our upright position, either arms overhead or hands to heart. So now I'll demonstrate one in time with breath. Okay, and then I'm going to demonstrate the other ones, then we'll do them all together. Now later on, friends, I'm not going to demonstrate these in quite so much detail. In fact, I'll probably just reference sun salutation video. And so later on, if you forgot or you want to do these, we'll use this basically as our reference video for our sun salutation, so we don't have to explain it so thoroughly in the future. Okay, great, fantastic. So in time, it looked like this, either hands to heart or hands overhead. Inhale. Exhale, either hands to the floor or our quads. Inhale to our halfway position, long spine. Exhale, we would fold, either keeping the hands on the quads or down to the floor. And then inhaling, coming back up, either arms overhead or hands to heart. And then from here, we would exhale our hands down to our sides and be ready for our next one. Okay, so that's version A for those of you who do not want to leave your chair. Next round, okay? You would want your chair directly in front of you for this one, with the back of your chair closest to you. I'm going to turn mine so you can see me again a little bit better, but you would want your chair in front of you. So again, in this one, friends, if we're using the back of the chair, that's generally an indicator that we have limited range of motion. I should scoot back a little bit. And so again, either hands to heart or arms overhead. But if we feel wobbly, arms overhead and balancing, we can always keep one hand on the chair as we bring the other hand to heart or overhead, and then we would alternate, because we're going to do 5 sets. We would alternate which hand we would lift. If we feel comfortable bringing both hands to heart or both hands overhead, we can do that. And it would look like this. I would inhale, either here or here. I would bow as I come down. I would release either my hands or my forearms to the chair. Again, this is great if we have the high blood pressure or issues with our eyes, because you notice that my head is above my heart. My next stage would be to slide my hands back up. Again, you notice my spine is in that halfway position, so I'm not fully upright. I'm not down to the chair. And you notice I'm going down to my forearms here. My head is still above my heart, so I'm in good shape here. I would come up to that halfway position. I would then fold again and then come up, either hands overhead or hands to heart. Okay, great version if we don't want to bend over too far. Next version, chair next to us or seat of the chair toward us. Again, it'd be in front of us, but for the sake of this video, I have it right here. Okay, get my dirty socks out of here. Okay, version number 3. Again, so if I'm assuming that we have the chair this low and our shoulders are feeling okay, we don't have to bring our hands to heart. We would go ahead and bring the arms overhead, holding the beach ball, again, chin parallel with the earth. So my arms would come up. I would fold. Now I have 3 steps of folding. I can either take my hands to the chair here and keep my arms straight. Again, if I need to keep my head above my heart. If that is not an issue for me, I can slowly bend those elbows. Again,
I can even take my forearms all the way to the chair, gazing down, or we can even take our forehead all the way down to the chair. But I think forearms would probably be the best. Actually, disregard that last one. This would be our lowest point here. And then from here, we'd find our halfway lift position. So I would come back up to my hands, straight, long spine. Again, I would fold, and then I would inhale all the way back up. Great. Final version. Again, sorry for being so long-winded, but for the sake of the future, I just wanted to establish this. So final version, no chair, okay? Feet at hips width distance or slightly closer. Arms start by our sides. Again, assuming that our shoulders are feeling okay at this point, we would inhale, arms up. Now, some people like to swan dive down. That's great. I prefer to bow. I come down. We don't need to touch the floor, but if we do, that's great. Now, as we inhale, we'll find our halfway lift. Now, again, our halfway lift in this position looks more like this. Spine like a picnic table. Legs are straight. Weight in the balls of the feet so we're not back here. More here. We can have our feet on the floor too, but notice my spine starts to round. I think this looks a little bit better for my body. This would be our halfway lift. And then we would fold. Soft knees as we inhale, arms coming up. Holding that beach ball, and then hands to heart. So in time, it would look like inhale, exhale, either swan dive or bow. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up, exhaling hands through heart center. Killer. Got it. We did it. We did all four. Okay, great. So now we're actually going to do 5 sets of that exercise, friends. And so I'm going to start doing the first one in my chair. I'm going to do one of each in the same order that I just explained them. So one seated, one with the back of the chair, one with the seat of the chair, and then 2 without the chair. Okay? Great. Here we go. Man, I'm excited. I love making these videos, friends. I really do love making these videos. Didn't realize that I was going to love it so much. Super fun. Okay. Obviously, I need to resettle, so let's just calm back down. Find ourselves in our chair, or not in our chair. If we're sitting in our chair, only if we're going to do our sun salutations from our chair. Okay? If you're going to do them standing, you'll do all 5 standing. If you want to do, basically deciding what version you're going to do and only sitting back down if you're going to do the seated version. Okay. But we're all just going to place our hands over our belly. Men will place their right hand over their left. Women place their left hand over their right. And we're just going to recenter ourselves, preparing for this exercise. So breath in, belly rise. Breath in, belly fall. Breath in, belly rise. Breath out, belly fall. Maybe 3 more breaths here. On our next exhale, we'll all release our hands down to our sides, palms facing the front of the room. Inhaling, arms come up either to heart or overhead. As we exhale, we bow to this beautiful day, either hands to the quads or all the way down. Inhale, we all find our halfway lift, whatever that looks like. As we exhale, we fold. As we inhale, we all press down to the feet, arms overhead, either to heart or all the way up. Exhale, hands all the way down to our sides. Next round, we inhale, arms either to heart or overhead. Exhale, bow, either swan dive or bow. Inhale to that halfway lift point. Exhale, we fold. Soft knees pressing down to the feet. Inhaling, arms up. And then exhale, we all bring our hands down to our sides. Third round. We inhale. We exhale. We inhale. We exhale. Soft knees pressing down to the feet. We inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart. Two more, wherever you're at. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale all the way down, whatever that looks like for you. Inhaling, halfway lift, whatever that looks like for you. Exhale, fold. Soft knees pressing down to the feet, inhaling up. Exhaling, hands down through heart to our sides. Final run, final one. Inhaling up, whatever that looks like for you. Exhaling down, whatever that looks like for you. Inhaling, halfway lift again, whatever that looks like to you. Exhale, full fold. Relax the head down. Press down for those feet, rise up, arms overhead or to heart. Exhaling, hands all the way down to our sides. Yay. We did it, friends. That was fantastic. Stoked. That went pretty well. Good. Let's go ahead. How long have I been doing this for? Oh, 47 minutes. This was supposed to be a 30-minute class. I got to get ready to go teach at I Am Yoga. So I think we'll probably have to go ahead and call this a day, friends. If you want to lie down and take a Shavasana, corpse pose, final relaxation, you can. Again, I got to get off to work. So I've got to have to end this live stream now. No closing meditation or anything like that. Again, if you want to sit quietly, comfortably, calmly for a little while, I definitely encourage that. Any other announcements that I have? We'll have another sound bath at I Am Yoga on March 23rd. I have a whole bunch of Sunday night meditations prepared. I'm not going to do them every Sunday, but I am going to do them every 2 to 4 weeks or so. And expect for there to be some more Qigong and other yoga offerings as well. Thank you also for supporting the channel. If you haven't, please subscribe and all that stuff. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I miss you, my friend. Great. Anyway, till next time, friends. Appreciate you all. Have a blessed day.